Hey guys, SSW 2024. I'm here with,
Scott Welch.
you probably have seen him or know of him. You've been around the industry for a long time. What's the most proud project you have been a part of?
I'd say the expansion of hydroxycut into mass market, doing all of the television commercials for that. I think that was really a huge thing. Helping acquire the Greenhoff patent from the University of Nottingham. That was a lot of fun. Introducing the first nitric oxide simulating product into the market in January 2000 with Nitrotech. That was pretty good. And then more recently, kind of reinventing the MuscleTech brand from a legacy brand that had kind of been, lost its way to kind of being more cool and more edgy. And obviously, those are some of the things I've been most proud of.
That's awesome. So you have quite a list of things you can choose from there.
Sure. Yeah.
That's awesome. You've probably seen all kinds of products over the years. What kind of innovation gets you excited these days?
I think the flavor collaborations that I've seen with like Ghost has been doing it, Rise is doing, and other brands that are kind of going into there. I think it's really exciting to see that, to sort of see these mainstream brands from all over the world. The other thing I really find fascinating is to see the flavor collaborations that are happening globally. If you look at brands like Big Nutrition in Spain and the collaborations that they're doing specifically in Spain with candy and confectionery items and putting those into dietary supplements. And then if you look into going into Brazil and you see brands there like Integral Medica that are actually doing licensing of flavor confectionery items, confectionery foods that are inside mainstream consumer products and bringing those into dietary supplements. So the focus on flavor, I really think that to me is what I see as most exciting right now. So that's kind of what I see.
What's a current project, if you can share, that you are excited about that you're currently working on?
Forge Stop anti-counterfeit software, microchips that are embedded inside labels of products to help prevent counterfeiting. Counterfeiting is a huge issue in Pakistan, India, Iran, and parts of the Middle East. And so by allowing you to have full transparency and traceability, preventing counterfeiting over in those areas is really good. It's great to be able to protect consumers because dietary supplement brand manufacturers make a lot of efforts in building huge brands, only to see them cheated in these other markets where their products are counterfeited. You see this a lot. You see the harm being done on consumers that are having something that they think is an American-made product. They see this being counterfeited, and it's not fair to those brand owners who create these amazing brands and to see the public being deceived in these different markets. So I'm very passionate about that. So that's kind of one project I'm working on right now with a company that's very exciting to me.
Are you allowed to share the technology behind that? Because you showed me last night. I'm not going to leak anything if you can't.
Yeah,
it's very cool, by the way.
Forge Stop is the name of the company. If you can Google it, you'll see a little bit more of it. And you're starting to see this next year in India, and you'll start to see this around the world. Some of the progressive companies in sports nutrition are specifically looking at this area. A trend that I'm seeing right now in sports nutrition is foreign manufacturing. So manufacturing in Europe for the European business, India, Brazil, Australia, China. By taking American brands, building them up, and then manufacturing abroad, you're able to allow yourself to prevent the instabilities of different currency, the currency volatility. You're able to be making products that are compliant with inside those markets of those areas. You're able to really tap into the flavor profile preferences of those populations in those different parts of the world. So sort of allowing yourself to go global and leveraging those areas to be able to be commercially viable in those parts of the world. So I see that foreign manufacturing is a big trend that I'm seeing right now in sports nutrition. And it's just a matter of finding the right manufacturers, label printers, regulatory people to help guide you through that. So I think that to see brands like MuscleTech that are in 160 countries and other brands like Optimum Nutrition, I think they're in 120 countries. And seeing this is, I think, really the future is how do we get these products globally? And then obviously companies like NuLiv that have their ingredients and then they're finding their ingredients around the world and seeing you people over at shows like FIBO and the different conferences around the world shows that the ingredient companies that are progressive are also looking at the regulatory landscape within inside these different markets and then looking at how do they supply this to these brand partners around the world so that you can get a branded ingredient and then make it compliant in different parts of the world. And then consumers in sports nutrition can have access to some of the latest innovations that we get here at like Supply Side West.
So you're experienced in helping brands, U.S. brands, get into the international market then?
Yeah, that's one of the things I do. I have a lot of connections around the world, but I think it's really got to be end to end. So you really can't just, in the old days, you could find a Sportica that would just get you distribution in other parts of the world, but you may not have the regulations. The pandemic was a real devastating situation that happened to the world, but it also increased the regulatory landscape in each of these different markets. And what happened was a lot of the regional brands that couldn't get supply ended up setting up their own brands internally within those areas. So now, when the American companies have gone back to places like Europe and Australia and Mexico, they find India, they find these different regional brands that are already set up there and they're very dominant. So allowing yourself to look at how do I work with a company that can help me or an expert that can help me not only find the right distribution partner there, but finding the right co-mans there or the right brokers that can help you get into those areas. So I take a personal interest in it. It's very exciting to me. It's very intriguing, but there's so many layers to it. But it's certainly just getting that guidance to allow you to know exactly, how to navigate the international landscape.
It can be difficult.
Yeah.
Sure. Very difficult. All right, I got one last question for you, okay? This is gonna be a fun one. All right. I'm sure you're familiar with pre-workouts, right?
Yes.
What are your 5 essential ingredients for a pre-workout if you are formulating one for yourself?
Caffeine, citrulline, beta-alanine, betaine, and then there's always a debate on what is the next one, because it really depends on if it's a value-based economical pre, which the trend in that is under a $30 pre-workout. Then you kind of have a lower level list of that. I would say the next one that I would have is electrolytes.
Very 5 great standard ingredients. You are actually the first person to say betaine, I'm pretty sure. I've heard, heard a lot of tyrosine, heard a lot of citrulline. I heard nitrate once, but you're the first person to say betaine, which is interesting because that's actually very common. That's like the big 3 ergogenics. So, damn.
And I am seeing senactiv in a lot of products out there, and I was really proud to see the senactiv as one of the sponsors of this, obviously NuLiv of the Supply Side West. So I am seeing that more, and obviously brands like Ghost are incorporating that, and other high-level products are including that. So it's great to see, and it's really great to see that what NuLiv has done, and obviously supporting shows like this, and the content that you guys do around the world. It's really cool to see ingredient companies adapting social media, and you and I were talking about that last night, and I think that you guys have just done a phenomenal job at just that.
We're professional, but we make it fun.
Yeah, that's right.
We have a mascot out here. We have 2 booths now, so we're growing. It's working. So, all right. Hey, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good show.
Thank you.